Good afternoon and welcome to Match of the Day for two First Division games involving three of the challengers for Liverpool's Championship. Manchester United and Tottenham Hotspur play each other and West Ham United play Norwich City. And for the second week running, our Scottish match provides 6 goals.
Today's headlines. Bobby Robson's preparations for England's European Championship game against Greece in Salonika are devastated by injuries, and the Republic of Ireland lose 7 of their 19-man squad for the match against Spain.
We begin at Old Trafford for what might be termed a classical fixture between two of the all-time greats of English soccer, Manchester United and Tottenham Hotspur. Not surprisingly, it attracted the largest crowd of the day and our cameras. Your commentator, John Watson.
Some First Division fixtures have a special ring about them, and down the years Manchester United and Tottenham Hotspur have been involved in some classic encounters. Brian Robson made his United debut against Tottenham after becoming Britain's most expensive footballer, and now, after taking over from the injured Ray Wilkins as United captain, he's poised to replace him as England leader in Salonika next Wednesday. United field the 11 which drew at Bradford in the Milk Cup, but the selection of Frank McGarvey as substitute reflects the lean spell which the two strikers, Stapleton and Whiteside, are going through. Number 5, Paul McGrath, now makes his league debut. He was signed from St Patrick's Athletic in Dublin, but he shares the same birthplace, Ealing in West London, as the Spurs captain, Steve Perryman, who today switches back to his old midfield position. That's because Ricky Villar and Nick Hazard are both injured, and although Gary O'Reilly wears the number 4 shirt, he'll be playing at right back. And the referee this afternoon is Colin Seal from Carlisle. A testing time for both teams, this. Manchester United have won only 1 of their last 7 league games. Spurs have lost their last 2. Norman Whiteside, Arnold Muren. And now McQueen. Remy Moses, a nice first touch to Duxbury. Over goes John Lacey. And then Gary Mabbott. And that was McGrath. Brooks back to Houghton. Perryman, on to Hoddle. Mabbott. O'Reilly. In the way, Albiston, here's Muren. Came off him to Whiteside. Gary Brook. Came off Robson, so McQueen had to save it. O'Reilly with the throw for Spurs. Hoddle. Miller. Hoddle looks for Crooks. McGrath is up with him. Lacey. Good ball to Gary Brook. And he wins the corner off Albiston. Lacey's gone almost on the goal line. And Lacey up with a crowd of United players. O'Reilly, here's Hoddle. Turned in, Archibald. Possible offside there, I would have thought. Archibald and Crooks edging forward as Hoddle chipped the ball back in. And referee and linesman in accord. Hoddle. That's McQueen, McGrath. Well played to Robson. But Brook got back, Stapleton. Muren, good running from midfield by United, and they're onside. Stapleton, Koppel coming in from the far side of the area. The ball too high for Moses, perfect for Clements. Here's Gary Brook. Fine effort. By a player who seems to have got better as the season has gone on. And now it's Duxbury. Well played by him. Went past 2 beautifully. And Duxbury shoots. And has been one of the most improved players in the First Division this season. Mike Duxbury settled down so well at right back, and not afraid to come forward like that and take on opponents. Hoddle looks for Crooks. Beautiful ball. Crooks is in here. Fine save by Gary Bailey, completing a quite brilliant move. Glenn Hoddle's ball through was a delight. It cleared the head of centre-half McGrath. A little bit of inexperience there, perhaps. Crooks was in. Good effort with the left foot, and how well Gary Bailey reacted. Lacey at the near post, beaten by McQueen. And Brook had to go almost into the Manchester United attacking position there to do that. Hoddle again looks for Crooks. Here's Perryman. And now Hoddle. And now Brook. Little deflection on the shot, possibly off Watson, who fell in front of Brook. Orbiston. And here's right side, Stapleton in the centre unmarked. Clements now forced to save in agile fashion from Norman Whiteside. It was a Tottenham mistake initially, but Whiteside prepared to try the first-time shot when Stapleton was square of him. He could never have seen him from that angle, and Clements turned it round. Glenn Hoddle with the header. Coppell. And in goes Robson, and this is Stapleton. Clements again. The goalkeepers called into action. It's vicious that, and away by Houghton. Superb corner by Arnold Muren. They can bend the ball marvellously well. In it goes again. And the header this time, a poor one by Stapleton. The overseas players, not to say the English players can't do it, but they really do put some swerve on the ball and pace as well, with corners like that from Muren. Spurs free kick after 5 minutes of exciting action. That was not so exciting from Hoddle, blocked by Muren. And Brian Robson charging through the centre, pursued by Perryman. And he finds Coppell and Gary O'Reilly. Whiteside. Well done by him. Can he finish? Not quite. Well, when you've gone 13 games without a goal, sometimes your luck is out, and he must feel that now. What a fine piece of skill to put himself into that position. And then in trying to poke the ball wide of the goalkeeper, he put it just wide of that far post. But the story of the match so far, apart from that, 3 very good, smart pieces of goalkeeping. 2 by Ray Clements on either side of his goal, and 1 at the other end by Gary Bailey. Moses, Stapleton. And Coppell had pulled away. Muren! Arnold Muren scores his first league goal for Manchester United. The only other one was a league cup tie, a milk cup tie at Bournemouth. But how well he took that. And what a good move by United. Stapleton attacked on the right. He got the cross in. Coppell was so timely and so intelligent with the touchback. And Muren, well, on his left foot, he knows where to put those. So, 23 minutes gone. Manchester United 1, Spurs 0. Muren has just caught Gary Brooke. But Muren, who perhaps hasn't yet hit the consistent peak that we were used to at Ipswich, will gain some confidence from that. Stapleton pulled away nicely from Lacey there, and he's got Manchester United moving down the right. Mike Duxbury having a good match. And he's found Muren. And Robson! Well, Muren supplied the cross. Robson the header, but the man who's impressed me in this opening half hour for Manchester United, number 2, Mike Duxbury, played in the England under-21 European final against West Germany and scored, and playing really well here. That came off McGrath. Then it was McQueen. McGrath again, looks for Coppell. Here's Stapleton. Right side to Moses, now it's Muren. Orbiston. And O'Reilly with the challenge, corner. Orbiston, McGrath. Right side's coming in, McQueen! No, there was a foul just before he got the shot in. But McQueen's instant shot, a little smile on his face because he doesn't hit too many with his right foot. And young Paul McGrath playing his part in the move too. Mabbott, Crooks on the left, Archibald in the centre. Hoddle in support, but Brian Robson so quick to read it, and to give it, and to get it back. And to spread it as well. Orbiston. And is he offside? Apparently not. It's Whiteside. And Moses was coming in, and the header went just wide, and Spurs looking vain to the linesman. They felt that Whiteside was offside when the ball was played to him. He kept the flag down. Whiteside got the ball across, and it was Remy Moses who had the header which went away. Oh, well played by Robson. Stapleton is out right, and away by Houghton. Hurriedly, it had to be, as other players came in behind him. Whiteside! The near post corner, how often it works. Generous applause for Manchester United at half-time. They've won the battle in the middle of the field, which is where it so often counts. Glenn Hoddle perhaps not yet finding his true range, having only just come back from injury, but Brian Robson seems in good fettle with the England match in prospect, and the goal by which Manchester United lead was scored by Arnold Muren. Well, Spurs may have scored 4 goals away from home in the Milk Cup at Gillingham, but they've only scored a total of 4 away from home in the First Division this season. And they're going to have to do something about that rather disappointing record to get anything out of this match. There's O'Reilly. Perryman to Hoddle. Brooke, back again to Hoddle. O'Reilly, Spurs with plenty of players forward in this attack. One of them being Crooks with the flick, McGrath with the clearance, then Robson. Now if United get the ball out left, which they have done, Stapleton is away. Put there by Muren, and 3 players coming up in support in the centre. Robson was there! And he's playing with such an appetite, as though the probability of the England captaincy has galvanised him now. already United's top goal scorer this season with 5, and it could have been more because Stapleton got down the left and Robson arrived at just the right moment. Now, Whiteside for United. Koppel. Robson. That's good play again, spreading it really wide. Orbiston, Stapleton, and Orbiston will come through again. Robson, Muren. Oh, and Robson caught. It was a stamped-in sort of tackle, and the referee speaking to Steve Perryman. That has been quite a contest, but he was certainly stamping in, and he's been booked. And Gordon McQueen offside, flag is up on the far side. Good turn by Archibald, but Moses was in the way. And O'Reilly comes charging through for Spurs. Hoddle to his right. Made him check, they've still got forward. Crooks wins it back. Now then, Crooks for Spurs. Poor finish, really, when you think of how well he'd done to get into that position. O'Reilly made the first charge. The attack seemed to have lost its momentum. Crooks won the ball back and then didn't get in a good shot at all. Crooks. It was Houghton looking for Crooks on the chase. McQueen, Archibald! Oof, but for a minute it looked like Archibald's ball there. And a little bit of tussle between Houghton and Whiteside, but here's Archibald. McGrath with the tackle. Hoddle. This is definitely Spurs' best period of the match. Brook. Hoddle. Then it was Muren that found Stapleton. Moses. Duxbury, he's going to have a go at Mabbutt here. Stapleton in the centre, so is Whiteside. Whiteside! From well inside the 6-yard box, he skied it. What a fine run by Duxbury, who was stretched to get to the ball to start with, but took on Mabbutt for pace, and that sort of cross is normally a forward's delight. It was pulled clear of the defence, it was inside the 6-yard box, but sometimes when you take them first time, they just fly over the top. It's Tottenham press with Hoddle. Crooks over on the right, 4 in the middle. And Steve Perryman doesn't get many headers at goal. But his position there, unmarked and onside, is an indication of just how slack Manchester United have become after having the game, it seemed, well in control until early in the second half. About 5 minutes left, the game still delicately balanced in Manchester United's favour. Here's Koppel. Now he's away from Hoddle, who took him. Glenn Hoddle with a foul, which means the referee will have to do something. Whether it will be just a booking, we shall have to see. Was he in a goal-scoring position, Steve Koppel? The northern crowd baying at the referee, but I fancy he may decide that Hoddle's tackle did not necessarily deprive Manchester United of a goal. Well, so much depending now on whether United can clinch the second. This is Whiteside. Stapleton. Oh, Coppell and Robson in each other's way. Arthur Albiston. Well, on the topic of referees, there will be more debate here, in that people will say last week Glenn Keeley was sent off on our programme and there Glenn Hoddle wasn't. The difference, if there is a difference, is that Dalglish last week was clean through around the penalty area, and this week, when Hoddle made his challenge, his opponent was nowhere near as far forward. This is Miller. Mabbutt's header in. Archibald, here's Mabbutt! Good chance. Tottenham have made a couple of good chances. These matches, well, all matches at Old Trafford, well supported always. Just under 48,000 to see Manchester United play Spurs. Here's Robson. Coppell again. And Stapleton, no. Comes out again to Muren, McQueen. And Muren lifts one in. And goodness me. Brian Robson in this match has shown why many people believe he should be the next England captain. He's defending 1 minute, then he's in midfield, and then he's striking at goal. And now Whiteside. And Albiston. And Whiteside. Did well. Pulled it back for Robson to shoot. Deflection. Corner. Well, it's an exciting finish here. Most of the activity in the Tottenham penalty area. Away by Miller. Back in for Stapleton and Whiteside. Here's Moses. Here's Coppell. Here's Muren. And Stapleton, oh, it dropped in front of Moses and out when Spurs weren't marking very well in the first place. Three points for Manchester United, very welcome. Only their second win in 8 First Division matches. Spurs themselves now are in a sticky patch. Today, perhaps Manchester United, certainly in the first half, that little bit better in the middle of the field. Spurs making a good battle of it towards the end, but they've only scored 4 times away from home in the First Division this season, and that would appear at the moment to be their biggest problem. Manchester United 1, Tottenham 0. As always, a boisterous game with plenty of talking points, and Brian Robson going off now, it would seem, to lead England.
More about Brian Robson, Bobby Robson's New England, and that game later, after we've assessed West Ham's current form as they play Norwich City. They're a long way away from each other in the league table. Let's see how they shape up on the field. Your commentator is Tony Gubber.
Ken Brown makes his first managerial return to the ground where he played 14 years in the colours of West Ham. A popular centre-half who made 455 league appearances for the Hammers. But Ken's happy return might not be extended to his Norwich team today, second from the bottom of Division 1, and facing a West Ham side third from top, who've scored 17 goals in their last 5 home games. Indeed, apart from goalkeeper Phil Parkes, only one of West Ham's outfield players has failed to get on the score sheet this season. That's number 10, Paul Allen. West Ham are at full strength with Frank Lampard back after a 2-match suspension, and 3 of this team are in Bobby Robson's England squad for the match in Greece in midweek: Alvin Martin, Alan Devonshire and Paul Goddard. Norwich, who haven't won away this season, also welcome back a player after suspension, number 10, Keith Birchin, whose partnership with John Dean has produced 12 of Norwich's 19 goals. The substitute, Mark Metcalf, is just 17 years of age. England manager Bobby Robson watching today with some concern and hoping that those 3 England squad players will survive this match without injury. The happy referee, Mr. Brian Hill of Kettering. West Ham kick off, attacking the goal to the right and chasing this season perhaps their highest ever finish in the First Division. Never previously been higher than 6th, currently in 3rd place. Walford. Martin O'Neill. And an early touch for Chris Woods, so both goalkeepers have handled the ball in the first minute. Dean. Oh, good skills, Devonshire. Got space to come forward, Alan Devonshire. Looking for the run from Clark, but Watson stayed with him. Barham, but again the penetration coming from the pass from Alan Devonshire. Dean. Alan Devonshire, such a tireless player, so full of inspiration, and so often the mainspring for West Ham's attack. Stewart. Van der Elst. Bonds. Oh, good skills by Van der Elst. A back flick from Goddard and hiked away by Haylock. And that'll be a West Ham throw. And West Ham keen to get on with it. Bonds. Devonshire down to Pike. The brightest bit of football of the match so far. The final strike on goal coming from Jeff Pike, although it was always high. Van der Elst involved early on, and West Ham showing their keenness and inclination to play the ball quickly. Bonds getting the crossover, Devonshire knocking it back, and Pike lifting it too high. Bonds. Martin. Jeff Pike, and the two West Ham men almost get in the mucks. And Lampard in oceans of space. Devonshire. Lovely ball. Allen knocking it on to Jeff Pike, and Stewart's got space on the right-hand side. Van der Elst. Oh, a lovely cross. Van der Elst involved again. A marvellous cross, and Woods had to be so positive. Birchin and Martin together. Barham, oh lovely. Seemed to have stepped over the tackle from Lampard, but just caught at the last minute. Frank Lampard, who was sent off for the cynical foul, sometimes called the professional foul, in the match at Brighton a couple of weeks ago, and served a two-match ban. That came off Pike. Barham. Looks to be carrying a bit of a limp, Mark Barham. Devonshire can turn and come forward. Get Barham in front of him. Finds Clark. Oh, this is a lovely ball to Stewart. Ray Stewart prepared to have a go. He's got on the score sheet 5 times this season. All those have come from penalties. Walford almost losing out to Clark. And Norwich get the free kick. Sandy Clark, number 9. Dean. Oh, he's got round Bonds. He's got Birchin with him, and is that a penalty? No, says the referee. And Martin O'Neill, the Norwich captain, has steamed up to have a word with the referee, Brian Hill, who smiles, but he hasn't given the penalty. And no free kick there either. Now Bennett trying to hold off Van der Elst. Birchin and Van Wyk. Martin O'Neill. Norwich throw. Well, there's Keith Birchin, always a lively player in the box, and Norwich might well feel that they came close to getting a penalty there. Bennett. Dean. Bennett. Good strike by Bennett. And there's the Norwich philosophy today. 5 players in a line across the back. Bennett. Now Devonshire to come forward again. Goddard. Got Pike here, number 11. Goddard. Well, once again, West Ham's attacking inspiration breaking down against the Norwich defensive wall. Forced to try their shots at goal from long range. Haylock, the right back. Dean, who's come through. Well, West Ham have got all the space they want until just after they cross the halfway line. And then the Norwich door is normally shut. Clark. Stewart. Goddard. Chips it forward. Trying to find Allen. Birchin. Gives it away to Sandy Clark. Oh, and Goddard's free in the middle if Clark could keep possession. Devonshire. Couldn't get it past Martin O'Neill. Lampard with the throw. Clark. Jeff Pike. Gives Martin, Ray Stewart, rather a lot to do. And yet another West Ham throw. Ray Stewart. Goddard. Let it come down to him. Pike. And that ball came from Mark Barham, number 7. He lifted it off the toe of Pike and almost put it past his own keeper, Chris Woods, and what a goal that would have been. So West Ham with their 5th corner into the final minute of this first half, taken by Devonshire. Paul Allen. Dean. Birchin. Oh, Birchin did well to get round Stewart. Now what can he do from this position? Well, he's annoyed. He could have done better, but there was a message there for West Ham because Norwich are defending so well, and yet just occasionally a quick on the break, and that's the sort of move that might just produce them a goal. The best effort of the first half from Mark Barham, a strike on his own goal. Devonshire. Stewart. Devonshire's kept going. He gets tiredly to his feet, Alan Devonshire, nothing for his efforts. The referee's whistle bringing to a close a rather featureless first half here at Upton Park. And West Ham going into the dressing room will know they've got to find the key that will unlock this very stout and resolute Norwich defence if they're to find the goal-scoring form that has been evident in their last 5 home matches when they scored 17. Half-time here, West Ham 0, Norwich City 0. And one wonders at the half-time thoughts of 82-year-old Jimmy Ruffell, the West Ham outside left in the first Wembley Cup final back in 1923. A man who played 6 times for England and who made 562 first-team appearances for West Ham, a total only exceeded by Billy Bonds and Bobby Moore. John Dean, number 9, starts the second half for Norwich, the man who scored the one solitary Norwich goal in the last 3 matches. There he is. Stewart. Walford missed it, and this is Goddard. Got Clark on the far post. Can he get high enough? Away by Dave Watson. Good cross by Goddard. Clark was lurking, but couldn't get up higher than the number 6, Dave Watson. So West Ham with their first corner of the second half. Woods twice getting the important stop from Goddard. First the little touch, it came back to him, Goddard had another go, and Woods was there again. So second corner, and Woods comes out safely. Jeff Pike. Paul Allen. Suddenly there seems to be a bit more space here for West Ham. Goddard. O'Neill. There's no doubt this game is desperately in need of a goal. Allen. Devonshire. Gets it back. This time, surely, Clark. Well, they made a meal of it, but finally Sandy Clark gets it into the net, and West Ham take the lead. Van der Elst, who took a knock. Clark was there lurking. It seemed to hit the post, and Clark scrambled it in. Well, that's what this game has required. A goal for West Ham. And let's see now if Norwich are inclined to push more men forward. Dean keeps it in and gets a corner. So Bennett and O'Neill together with this corner for Norwich. Away by Martin. O'Neill. Sandy Clark used to be the branch manager of a finance company up in Scotland, getting his 7th goal of the season. Devonshire. Goddard finding Devonshire again, and Haylock had to be sharp. West Ham get the corner. Alvin Martin and Goddard and Clark. 3 West Ham players getting a touch. Alvin Martin, who'd come up from the back, then Goddard, and finally Clark, bringing the fingertip save from Woods. Martin stays up as West Ham get another corner. Appeals for handball, but the referee has given an offence against Billy Bonds. Well, Chris Woods earning his corn in the Norwich goal. Just picking that one up from underneath the post to turn it over for a corner. Pike. Pike. Lampard. West Ham ball. Nobody moving here for Lampard. Goddard does. Devonshire. Goddard. Devonshire. Oh, it's a good ball. Oh, just a foot too far forward of Goddard. Now Martin. Clark. Oh, what an extraordinary spell of play. Bennett. Barham. O'Neill. Couldn't get round Van der Elst. What an extraordinary spell of play that was. Walford. Punched away by Parks. Haylock. Free kick given against Dave Watson. I think the expression was no way. But there's no doubt at all that this has been a better match since West Ham took the lead and Norwich were forced to go forward. Dean. Haylock. Martin streaking back in pursuit of Haylock. Barham. Well, if Norwich continue to play like this for the remaining 12 or 13 minutes, there's every chance they could get on the score sheet. Devonshire. Goddard. Little chip. Did it so well, Goddard. Devonshire again the man who gave him the ball. And Goddard almost got it right. Birchin, number 10. Bennett. Again, Norwich with plenty of players forward. And a rather cheeky little head back from Ray Stewart. Norwich about to make a substitution, and the baby-faced player who's coming on, and I'm sure the stomach full of butterflies, he gets the pats on the back. 17-year-old Mark Metcalfe, who's played so well in the reserves that Norwich have decided to reward him with his first senior appearance. And number 7, Mark Barham, is the man who's gone off. Metcalfe with 10 minutes to make an impression. Watson. Dean. O'Neill. Norwich get the free kick. Van der Elst protests. Oh, and he's not offside, Goddard. He was in his own half, and he can go all the way, pursued by Haridi. Well, he's got round the goalkeeper and knocked it too far. Well, Norwich had pushed so many men forward to try and get the equaliser that nobody was looking after Goddard, and he wasn't offside because he was standing in his own half. And I think there's got to be some credit there to Chris Woods, who came so quickly off his line to harass the West Ham forward and put him off. And there goes the referee's whistle to end a match that hasn't thrilled too many of the crowd here at Upton Park. Sandy Clark's goal, the only one of the match, giving West Ham the 3 points that they want to stay in contention at the top of the First Division, but just leaving his seat there. The England manager, Bobby Robson, an interested spectator here this afternoon, looking at Alvin Martin, Alan Devonshire, and I think in particular number 8 there, Paul Goddard. Final score then here, West Ham 1, Norwich City 0.
Well, most valuable points there for West Ham, but I must say Norwich City didn't give me the impression that they were a shell-shocked relegation outfit. Well, for our skill spot, though, we go back to Manchester United and Spurs and first take another look at the goal that won the game. Not so much from the start of it here. Remy Moses' first-time ball we were talking about last week. He gives Stapleton the ball just at the moment when it's useful to him, when he's in space, which enables him to turn round there and threaten on the right. The final cross, very accurate one. He spotted Stevie Coppell on the far post there, and it's a neat little chip up. But it's from that moment on that I want you to take notice of the chest pass. Not so much that it comes off the chest from the chairman of the PFA, who is officially confirmed as that tomorrow, a good example here for all players, but the way in which he lays the ball back there to exactly the right spot. It's benign, it drops gently, and doesn't dictate to Arnold Muren. And it had to be inch perfect, or otherwise that shot would have been blocked. Then the best move of the game came from Spurs, incidentally, and showed three players up in excellent light. First, Hoddle on the ball now, a lovely drag-back feint with his right foot. Just one touch there to make sure that Crooks at the top of the picture is already going. He timed his run beautifully. But I want you to think of Crooks' problem now as that ball falls towards his left shoulder there. He's had to keep his eye on it and up to now has not had a sight of the goal. But as it drops and bounces up again, in a flash, he's seen the target and volleyed superbly. And a marvellous save from Bailey at the end of it. Three first-class skills. Finally, the two young lions of England in opposition. Brian Robson, number 7, rushing off down the right wing there to pick up this ball from Coppell. But it's Gary Mabbott who takes up the responsibility of chasing him. At that moment, Robson's neat turn gives him the advantage, but he's a determined player, Mabbott, and he's not beaten yet, although it looks as if he's made enough room to get clear. And out strikes Mabbott's left foot, but at that moment the ball breaks for Robson, and he's able to show off his dribbling ability as he moves in to confront Lacey. That's Robson and Mabbott in opposition yesterday. They'll unite in England's cause on Wednesday next.
Well, today's news is dominated by international football and the problems facing the managers of England, Scotland and the Irish 3 days before important European Championship games. While so many other countries appreciate the importance of international success to the healthy future of the game, the non-cancellation of league games in Britain is making a laughingstock of our football authorities and their short-sighted approach. Owen Hand has lost no fewer than 7 of the 19-man squad he chose for the Republic of Ireland game in Dublin against Spain. To Arsenal's David O'Leary, who's been ordered to take 2 or 3 days total rest after being concussed against Everton yesterday, you can add the names Langan, Moran, Waddock, Sheedy, Whelan and Daly. Called up as late replacements are Brendan O'Callaghan of Stoke, John Devine of Arsenal and Jerry Ryan of Brighton. Northern Ireland's Billy Bingham is the luckiest British manager today. He's still to get all his squad together for the game against West Germany in Belfast, but as he told me this morning, no news is good news. Scotland face a difficult Group 1 match in Bern against Switzerland, and Jock Stein's squad has lost 2 players, Jim Bett of Rangers, who has an ankle problem, and Liverpool's Kenny Dalglish with a thigh injury. Stein's also lost Dundee's Ian Ferguson from his under-21 squad, one which includes South African-born Richard Gough. The Dundee United player, who has Scottish parents, is making quite a name for himself. And hardly surprising if he continues to score goals like the one you'll see in a moment or two during United's home win at Tannadice yesterday against Rangers.
Scully did that well. Stevens tried to draw him back. This must be, yes, 1-0, Ralph Mills. That's Johnston. Flicked away though. McPherson, a touch by Cooper, and he scored. The equaliser by Cooper. Cooper puts that one in. McPherson is there with the head, and there is McDonald again. Cooper brings it to the left foot. That's a header down, and it's in. Derek Johnston. 2-1 for Rangers. Bannon. There's a little jigging around. McPherson keeps his eye on the ball. That's a good-looking shot, and who's coming up with it? Dodds. The equaliser by David Dodds. Stark. Gough will let fly, and he does brilliantly. Oh, superb goal. Billy Kirkwood. There's a brilliant ball, there's no offside. Ralph Mills. That's it. Number 4.
Just before we return to the international scene, one interesting development today involving 3rd Division Millwall. Chairman Alan Thorne confirmed to me that former Scottish international George Graham, currently the youth team coach at Queen's Park Rangers, is one of the names he's seriously considering for the vacant manager's job. As yet, there's been no approach to Rangers for permission to speak to Graham, but there'll be a board meeting at the Den on Tuesday and a statement before the end of the week. The latest news from the England camp makes a mockery of our approach to international football, especially when you bear in mind that England's opponents on Wednesday, Greece, got together in midweek, had all games cancelled today and will have enjoyed 8 days preparation by the time they face Bobby Robson's squad in Salonika. The England manager has definitely lost Arsenal's Graham Rix, hamstring injury, and Terry Butcher of Ipswich, who withdrew today, stress fracture of the left ankle. Also doubtful and unable to take part in this afternoon's training session were the following: West Ham's Alvin Martin, groin strain and one lovely black eye. Alan Devonshire, also of West Ham, groin strain. Manchester United's Steve Coppell, swollen left knee. Phil Neal of Liverpool, badly bruised calf. And Arsenal's Tony Woodcock, who has a severely bruised big toe. Bobby Robson's reaction: it's all very frustrating and completely hinders our tactical planning. Despite the list of walking wounded, the England manager has added only one name to the full squad, Manchester City's Tommy Caton. He moves up from the under-21 party, who in turn have had Queen's Park Rangers' Terry Fenwick added to it as another overage player. Fenwick provides cover for Derek Statham of West Bromwich Albion, who last night informed the England manager that a hamstring injury would prevent him from reporting, but who today felt an improvement and actually travelled. So all in all, a sorry tale, but while one sympathises with Britain's international managers, realistically you're left feeling that nothing will change, and so it's simply a case of grin and bear it. There's bound to be a big grin on the face of Manchester United's Brian Robson when he is officially named England captain shortly in place of the injured Ray Wilkins. But the priority for Bobby Robson is to find a blend from the players available to him that will give him his first win as England manager.
I want to put out the best team. And if you put out the best team, then you've got a chance of being positive and being adventurous and being right, and that's what it's about.
Now, what sort of a game are you expecting next Wednesday in Salonika?
Well, it'll be a very tough game. From what I've heard, Greece have beat Russia, and I think it's Czechoslovakia in the last 2 games over there. You know, so it'll be a very difficult game, but you know, England have got some good players in the side. And if we play it sensibly and we play to our capabilities, we should get a good result over there.
Now, the only sort of result that you can obviously look for in Greece is a victory.
Yes, I mean, we've had a moderate start under my managementship. 2 difficult matches, but nevertheless, we haven't won and we need to win. I'm conscious that my job is to win football matches. So that's the be-all and the end-all at the end of the day. It won't be easy in Athens, in Salonika rather. We've played so many times backward and forward, I don't know where we're playing.
But that's rather a Freudian slip, because I was going to ask you, how significant do you think it will be from England's point of view that you've had this match move from Athens, where you could confidently have expected to play, out to the distant Salonika?
I would have preferred it in Athens, to be honest, because I think it is fanatical up in Salonika, where I've experienced that. It's a hysterical situation. Very great fervour there from the crowd, and it's something that we'll have to cope with. But I mean, international players have to cope with outside factors. If they don't cope with those things, then they're not international players. So I'd expect the best from the team.
Now, I know you haven't been told about the captaincy yet, and without prejudging it, you are the favourite. If you are asked to lead England, what will that mean to you?
Well, that'll be a dream come true. I think most players who do get the captaincy of England always say that, but I think it's definitely true. Ever since I've been young, I used to watch England, and to be captain of England now would be the highlight of my career.
Can we pick a team good enough to win the European Championship?
We can pick a team if we produce the good players. That's got to come first. You can pick a team to win a championship if you produce good players at league football. But they're coming through. I mean, I think the bright thing is that we have got some young players coming through. Need a bit of a taste of it, obviously. They need some experience. And the nucleus is still there. Ron Greenwood, I feel sure, left a good nucleus, and I've just got to sort of add the bits and pieces, I think, and make the thing roll.
So the clue from Bobby Robson is a young team?
No, the clue from Bobby Robson, I hope, is the right team, which is the mixture of youth and experience.
The perfect blend of youth and experience. It sounds easy, doesn't it? But how opinions vary. Brian Clough said he would blood youngsters willy-nilly, risk losing matches and concentrate on building a team to win the World Cup. Yet if we don't qualify for the European Championship finals, those very youngsters will lose the chance to gain vital experience. I think we'd all agree it wouldn't pay to throw them all in at once, but 2 or 3 at a time at the most could be acceptable. Well, there's only one point I'd like to emphasise, and that in selecting those young players, Bobby Robson keeps the closest possible contacts, I'm sure he does, with their managers to make sure that they're still performing at their peak. To play a confident, talented youngster is not so much of a risk, but to include 1 or 2 who've gone off the boil could lose matches. It's equally important that club managers are totally honest when they advise the England manager. Well, we shall see Robson's choice soon enough, and the match itself, exclusively on Sports Night next Wednesday at 9:55. With a new manager, the opportunity is there for so many talented youngsters to make their mark and impress him. I wonder how many will successfully rise to that challenge. Good afternoon to you.
Douglas, 4 players sprinting forward. One of them is Lee here. Johnson just inside. Oh, it's a marvellous goal by Sammy Lee.
This is Miller. Mabbott's header in. Archibald. Here's Mabbott. Good chance. Tottenham have made a couple of good chances. Thompson far side. Thomas. Burley for Ipswich. Thomas again. Still Danny Thomas. Oh, I say, what a shot and what a goal! Lohman is in there, here's Blissett, and Blissett hit the bar. Mortimer, surging run, Shaw's on the far side. Shaw! Brilliant goal!
Thomas. Met by Foster. Chamberlain, this is a chance. And it's in.
This typical Watford ball hooked forward as soon as possible and quite often as far as possible. Armstrong leaving it for John Barnes to go through. Corner.
Devonshire. Goddard. Little chip. Did it so well, Goddard.
And Wilkins well forward here for England. Ricky Hill.
Lee. Oh, what a goal! What a magnificent strike of a dead ball by Sammy Lee.
Viasat